Alright, guys, so let's continue on with the Jaws films and talk about one of the most outrageous sequels that I truly love, and that's Jaws 3D. This movie is a piece of shit, but man, it is so fun and so entertaining that I honestly watch this and 4 over Jaws 2. And I know people are going to be like, what? Like, but seriously, I'd rather watch 3 and 4 than Jaws 2 because Jaws 2 is just kind of a boring recreation of the first one with a good ending, and then this one and Jaws the Revenge are so bad they're just entertaining to me. And I know a lot of people disagree, but this is my opinion, and this is my channel. So let's talk about Jaws 3D. Coming out in the 3D craze of the 1980s, um, not having Roy Scheider in it at all, or Lauren Gary, or any of the other actors from the other Jaws movies. It's these newcomers, which Dennis Quaid plays Mike Brody, and then another guy plays Sean Brody, and they have two girlfriends, and they are the stars of the movie. And Kay is Mike's girlfriend, who's pretty awesome, and they both are the stars of the movie. Mike and Kay. Sean's kind of there, but he's not there as much. Mike takes over the Chief Brody position in the movie because he is the leader of the movie. He's the one that tells everybody like get out of the water, get out of the water, and he does the same kind of thing that Roy Scheider did in the two Jaws movies. So again, no Chief Brody or Ellen Brody in this one. And also, this actually stars Leah Thompson too, which is pretty funny. I think this might have been was this her first movie? I think it might have said her introducing Leah Thompson, because I don't know. I'm thinking it might be her first one because Karate Kid and Back to the Future were after this. So I think this might have been her first movie, which is pretty cool. I really like Leah Thompson, and she's not in here a lot, but that's just a funny thing to note that she's in the movie as well. Now, the production of this movie cracks me up because Roy Scheider laughed at the idea of coming back for Jaws 3. He purposefully did this movie Blue Thunder, which I have not seen, and he did that purposefully to get out of being in this movie, and he only did Jaws 2 to get out of a contractual obligation with Universal. But in this case and in Jaws the Revenge is case, he both said no each time and said it in a very interesting way. Like he's like whenever he, especially Jaws the Revenge, he said like he really had to find a way like to get out of it, but like he would just not go and do it. He would not. There's no excuse for him to do another one, and he didn't want to, because of course this one was trying to be a big franchise, and they made 4 movies. And I guess the fourth one is so terrible that everybody just quit. But like, we haven't even got into Jaws remake, so it's funny that in Jaws 4 it stops. So this is a small franchise, but such an entertaining one. Really, really entertaining, especially this movie, Jaws 3D. So the first thing I have to talk about, because this is a so bad it's good movie, is the effects. Visually, the effects are horrible and dated as hell. They are extremely dated. The the thing that they did, I think, was they had a 1980s style green screen and inserted an image on the green screen. So, like for instance, the shark, whenever it's swimming around, it'll be on the green screen, so you see the water behind it, but you see the shark with the lines on the whole shark moving, like the outer lines, because it was from 1980s green screen, so you didn't even have a way to integrate like colors and how to put the shark right in the thing. So it looked horrible and horrendous with the 3D effects.
Hey Corey, thank you for letting me be in this video. Jaws 3D is not one of my most favorites in this franchise. It might even be my least favorite, but I do think it's alright. It has that guilty pleasure feel to it and everything, but the special effects in this movie are so bad. The CGI shark is just absolutely terrible and everything. It just like laughably bad and everything. The 3D effects have aged really, really bad. I know a lot of people complain about Friday the 13th Part 3 having bad 3D effects, but this one is way, way worse and everything. I do like some of the characters, and I thought Dennis Quaid was good in this, and everything. This was one of his earlier movies. I've been a pretty big fan of him for a while, so I thought he was good in it, and the other cast members were pretty good, although most of them are kind of forgettable and everything. This is just easily not one of my favorite movies in the franchise. Really, after the first movie, though, there wasn't any way that any of the sequels would have been able to be as good as the first one anyway, so, I mean, there's that, I guess. But I do, like I said, this one is okay. It's a guilty pleasure watch. I know some people will probably enjoy it a lot more than I do and everything, but I do think it's decent, and I don't think it's like really good or anything, but I don't think it's terrible either. So but yeah, thank you very much, Corey, for letting me be in this video, and I'll do my review for this later today or tomorrow and everything, and give my full thoughts on it. So if y'all want to check it out, check it out on my channel, Ogreboy1992, and everything. So thank you very much, Corey, and have a good day, everybody.
The 3D effects are so terrible in this movie, and I love that because it just makes it so memorable, honestly. If that is a defense, at least for me, I think it's memorable for that case. And I've never seen this in 3D. I've only watched this on the 2D version, so it's so jarring watching it. But again, it gives it a charm that I appreciate in just terms of how goofy this movie is, and it's incredibly goofy. And also just the idea of Jaws in SeaWorld, like, that is so hilariously bad sounding, but it's executed so funny. I love that about this movie. And again, speaking of the characters, I do like Dennis Quaid. I think he's fine in the movie. Like, he's solid. He's actually, like, I don't know what else he did before this movie, but he's good in this movie. He's perfectly serviceable as the hero of the movie, as the Chief Brody equivalent, since he's his son. And I appreciate that. Now, the middle half of the movie is fine. It's just not as much to talk about. Like, the shark kills a lot of people in gritty ways that you don't really see much of, but that's mostly the middle half. Like, there's not much else to say about the middle half, but the climax when the shark is in SeaWorld is freaking awesome. I love that. He breaks through tunnels underwater. He breaks through glass. It's so awesome, and it makes it so incredibly unintimidating too. There was a moment that I actually did think was cool, though, where it was a little intimidating, where this guy literally goes inside the shark, and you see him moving on the inside of the shark. I thought that was actually kind of effective. I was surprised at that in this movie. That's not intimidating or scary at all. Now, one of my favorite scenes ever in just how horrible it is from this movie. The scene where Mike and Kay and that owner guy and a couple of these other people are down underwater in the SeaWorld, like, underwater exhibit. They're looking through the glass, and they do a slow-mo where they just look. Other person looks, and then you see the shark slowly, as slow as molasses, is moving towards the screen. Like, this fast is how fast it's going with my hand moving. And it gets closer, and then they all go, ah! And then, like, it literally shows the image of the shark just pushing towards the screen, and then this glass breaks, where it's like the shark doesn't even react to a glass breaking. Like, it just is a moving shark on the image, and glass just breaks. And it is one of the worst things I've ever seen, but it is one of the best things I've ever seen. I love that moment in the movie where the glass breaks and they're all just like, no! And, like, it is horrendous, but it is so freaking hilarious. God, I love that. And then I love how they blow up the shark with grenades, and it does a thing like... Freddy's Dead is the only thing I can think of on top of my head that does this 3D thing, where, you know, Freddy blows up in that movie and his head, like, flies at the screen and he's like, ah, like that. They do a thing in this where the shark blows up, and it's Jaws. Because it's called Jaws, the freaking Jaws, it blows up, and the Jaws fly towards the screen, and there's two pieces of the Jaws, just one right here, and they just place and sit right here in front of the screen. And it's fucking ridiculous. Like, it cracks me up and how horrible it is. So they blow them up, and the dolphins I haven't even mentioned the dolphins that Kay has. These dolphins that are like pets, and they're really funny in the movie. But it adds to the unintentional goofiness of the movie too, because at the last shot of the movie, because they think that the dolphins are dead because they had a brush with the shark, and the dolphins appear after the shark is blown up, and Kay and Mike are like, "Yeah, you made it," and then like on each screen, like right here would be Mike and Kay, and then the dolphins are on the other side of the screen right here, and the Kay and Mike just go, yeah, and then they put their hands up, and then the dolphins on the side jump up in the air, and it pauses in mid-pause of the dolphins in the air, Kay and Mike going, yay, and then it just ends. And again, that perfectly encapsulates what this movie is, and it's so bad, but it's so hilarious. Like, it ends with them going yay up in the air while the dolphins are bouncing up in the air, and it freeze frames on it. It is hilarious. I love that about this movie. For the most part, this is not the whole way through completely interesting, because, like I said, the ending really sells it for me, but there are some good unintentionally bad stuff throughout, but the ending really sells it for me. That is what makes me love this movie, and just how horrible it is, but so entertaining and so fun, and it's just one of those so bad it's good movies that I love in that way. So really, really love Jaws 3 on rewatch. So again, I'd rather watch it than Jaws 2, honestly. And Jaws the Revenge. And those are way worse, but still, I'd rather watch them than Jaws 2. Which is fine. It's a fine movie, just copying the first one again with an okay climax. But Jaws 3, Jaws 3D, just an awesome, awesome movie. Really enjoyed it on rewatch. So that is my review on Jaws 3D. If you like this video, check my links down below in the description. I've got Twitter, Patreon, Letterboxd, my group Horror Enthusiast 101, and tell me down below what you think of Jaws 3D. I wonder if people will enjoy it as much as I do. I think that this is so hilarious and so fun. Thank you guys for taking your time out of your day to watch this, and see you guys later.